We're live.
Hello.
Hi. And we can wait a little bit for people to come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all excited to talk about this book?
So ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have your notes?
A little refresher and and that's her note. He's ready.
I love it. We're gonna post to Instagram real quick.
Did someone post it in the Discord?
Oh yeah.
Earlier. We can do it again.
I'll do it.
Do it.
Join us.
Okay. While we wait, we can introduce ourselves. Hi, my name is Catherine. You are on my channel, Catherine Zofrey. We are here to discuss our book read for the 12 Days of Bookmas Readathon, The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Hello, I am M, one half of the Bookish Potatoes. I almost said them awkward potatoes.
No.
I caught myself.
We cut them. Yeah.
They're gone. No, I'm one half of Bookish Potatoes. And yeah, excited to discuss this fantastic book with you all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm Claire. I'm the other half of the Bookish Potatoes, and I'm also ready to discuss this groundbreaking piece of literature.
I love it. I love it. Hello. Wow, 12 a.m. I'm impressed that you are here.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, how did you guys do with the readathon? Y'all already posted your reading wrap up, but
yeah, we did. I blacked out the board, which was very exciting. I'm actually really proud of that, so we're good.
Yeah, I also blacked out my board, but I also didn't have like the most ambitious TBR. But I was still proud of myself.
It's still good.
I did it.
Yeah, proud of you. I also blacked out the board, which I'm very proud about because it was iffy for a little bit. A couple of those books. Yeah, I decided to read 6 books.
Oh yeah, I think I read 3.
I don't know why I decided to do that, but it's fine.
You always just go for it. Like, this is a pattern I'm noticing. You pick up like a big book and you just send it. You're like, now is the time to read all the books.
Like, now's the time to read an 800-page book. In fact, let's read like 4 over 600-page books for this one. It's great.
I wish I had that in me. Like, that is what I strive to be.
So chaotic.
It's fine.
I'm literally crying. What is happening? I'm like laughing so hard. I'm crying. Oh my gosh. Stop.
Oh my god. I love it. Okay. So I guess we should talk about this book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start off with some non-spoilery thoughts. So what were your guys' ratings? What were your general opinions about the book?
Should I go first?
Go for it.
I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. I think my general rating, feeling is basically that if this were a Hallmark movie, I would have loved it, I would have watched it, and I would have never thought about it again. Right? But because it was a book, it dragged on for a little bit longer than necessary. I felt like the beginning didn't need to be there. And then by the end I was interested, but I literally don't remember a single person's name. So kind of forgettable. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like my thoughts are not original. I feel like I'm echoing what everyone has said about the book. I liked it. I didn't dislike it. I think around the halfway point, I was like, okay, now I want to see how this plays out, and I actually felt invested. Whereas the beginning, I was kind of like, why am I committing to this? Like, I already kind of felt like I knew where it was going. Yeah, if it had been a Hallmark movie, the entire first half could have been a montage, would have been over like that. So I gave it 3 stars. I liked it. It was cute, but it definitely wasn't like my favorite book I've ever read.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I feel very similarly. I ended up giving it 2.5 stars. I really liked, like, from the halfway point to like the 3/4 of the way point, I was like, wow, I'm really digging this suddenly. I really am loving it. And then once we got to like the ending, I was like, meh.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, it was one of those things where I'm like, if I'd watched this as a movie, I probably would have been all about it. But because it took me so long to read,
Yeah.
not as much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have any other thoughts, or anyone in the chat can share their ratings and their thoughts, opinions? Hi, Luna.
Hi.
Yeah.
I liked a lot of the side characters more than like I felt more invested in some of the side characters than the actual main character. But I thought like the friendships that were written in were really cute. Like I enjoyed that side of the book.
Yeah. Yeah, her friend was great. What was her friend's name?
I think Laura, right? Laura?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I really liked her.
She was just a good supportive friend. Like she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was nothing in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard, is there's other books with similar premises that are better.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was cute.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Getting into the more spoilery here. Wait, can I create a banner? Spoilers. We're doing great.
There it is.
Cool.
Spoilers.
Bam, nailed it. Getting into the more like spoilery parts of the book, what did y'all think of like the plot, writing style?
I had no complaints about the writing style, to be honest. Like, I thought it was fine for like a contemporary romance, like fluff book. Like, I thought the writing was fine. The plot was kind of plotted weird, if that makes sense. I don't know. I felt like certain dates could have been cut to like 2 paragraphs, and I could have spent longer on other dates. And instead, it was like she was trying to make sure each date had the same amount of screen time, and it was like not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree with that too. And I felt like, considering the fact that there was like this love interest kind of like plotted from the beginning of the book, and you kind of knew the whole book where it was going, I felt like we didn't actually see much of an actual relationship there. Like we had a lot of backstory, which was nice, but like the main love interest didn't even have as much like screen time is not the right word because it's a book, but like time on has like some of the random dates. So I felt like that was weird. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I was like, why didn't we see more of Matt?
Yeah.
Like in between the dates.
Like we only really saw Matt when he was like in a relationship.
Or fighting with her.
Yeah.
A few scenes where they were friends and they had like cute banter, like it was cute, but I felt like there wasn't enough of it for me to feel like I was rooting for that relationship.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like he was like kind of rooting for her to find someone else on these dates.
But he also wasn't, because he was making fun of her the whole time for like doing this in the first place, which was so irritating to me, because I was like, if you have a problem with it, maybe you should think about why you have a problem with it. Being nicer. Also,
that's true.
Becca's comment, I had a lot of spelling mistakes in mine. So did I when I was looking for them, and then I just like started reading so fast that I couldn't tell because I was just endlessly scrolling through my phone. So
yeah, no, there were definitely like a couple weird grammatical errors where I was like, where's the end quotation marks? Where like This is a published book.
It felt kind of rushed, like just as a whole, like just with the errors and like the pacing of the book. Like it almost kind of felt like someone was like, okay, we need a Christmas book by this date. And she was like, on it. I'm going to write it.
Yeah, but that's not even her fault. That would be like whoever edited.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the pacing of the book too felt just a little off to me. Like, I feel like there could have been a bit more thought put into that. Or maybe that was just like a personal thing. I just didn't vibe with the pacing.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of touched on this, but with the characters, what y'all think about the characters?
Okay,
Friends.
I have a very strong opinion on certain character things because honestly, I think this could have been like a 3.5 read for me, if not for the really random, like weird parts about her mom. What was the purpose?
The very end, when her mom calls her from jail, I was like, I forgot that she even had a mom. But then I felt invested in her mom, and I was like, I would rather read a book about her mom's story because it just seemed so much more interesting.
It just felt strange. Like it didn't need to be there other than to prove like her dad's such a nice guy. Great, good for him. I like her dad. But like what was it was almost like the point was that marriage doesn't work. Because was there one happily married couple other than her friend?
True.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly this, where
Yeah.
Matt ignores her for 10 years. That's what she said.
Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, like I feel like they don't communicate at all.
And then they tried playing that off as the reason they aren't communicating is because they were like in love with each other, but neither of them knew it. But then I'm like, but that's like the problem is that we're not communicating this. Like that could have solved, like it could have been solved years ago. It was a long time. It didn't need to be.
Okay, also, we're getting off track here, but I need to say this about Matt. I guess we're into their relationship, whatever. The part where Matt got mad at her for not telling him about the fact that they ran into his girlfriend's ex really bothered me because I felt like it was a very high school argument. Like, once you've reached a point where, like, if you're hanging out with your significant others, like, or, like, with your friend's significant other, like, if you're hanging out with them, that means, like, you guys are friends now. You know? And, like, unless she's, like, actively cheating on you, why would she have to tell you that your girlfriend ran into her ex? Like, how is that your business? How is that, like, I don't know. I just felt like it was a very, like, juvenile argument that they had.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I just feel like a lot of the time that we saw Kate and Matt together was fighting over stuff, like silly stuff like that, where it was like, he also went to Kate and asked her to keep something from Sarah, but then he was mad when she did it for Sarah. It was just, unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a difference between banter and like not getting along and arguing.
Yeah.
And they just fought the entire time. It wasn't really banter.
No chemistry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you know, fun. You were like, oh, love interest. So you're like, okay, let's see how this goes. Like, excited for some cute moments. Where were they? Yeah. When she had more chemistry with the gay guy than she did with her actual love interest. And that is that.
Like, that was the weirdest date ever. I'm like, so what was the purpose? Where was the purpose?
Mary's here.
Hi, Mare.
A hot take. We're ready.
There we go.
That's
yeah. Speaking of that date, kind of off topic because we were talking about characters, but I have a bone to pick with this company.
Chaos.
How did they not like have things planned out beforehand in like some sort of file or something that they like lost all the data? Like,
supposedly Kate is paying a lot of money for this, and the fact that they're like trying to rope her in to like catch the bad ones. And, like if I and they were like doing this a lot, I would be very concerned.
Yeah, I would be like, okay, you want me to figure out who the bad people are? Are you gonna start paying me? Yeah.
To like have a good date. Yeah.
Yeah, the only reasons why anyone didn't want to be with Kate was they were gay or they were still in love with their ex.
Yeah.
Which was
or they were married.
Or they were already married.
Everyone was still in love with an ex. Yeah.
Because the main takeaway of this book is that marriage never works. Okay.
Also, I just thought it was funny that like the whole book, Kate is like, I'm okay like being alone. Like I'm an independent woman. I want to have like children on my own. Like I don't need this. But then she was like really let down every time a date didn't work out. And I was like, girl, like just stop lying.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I guess the point was like she was in love with Matt the whole time, so she was saying she was okay with not having that because like the only person she wanted it with was him. But I just felt like we were thrown into that part so late in the book, even though we all knew that's where it was going. But like she could have said from the beginning like what their fight was about. Like waiting that long to talk about why they weren't friends. I was like, it didn't really add anything other than like, yeah, I already guessed that.
Yeah, I already figured it.
We all already knew, like page 1.
Yeah. No, I honestly, the friendships were cute. But I was there.
Hi, Marley.
Yes.
I was more invested in her dad's relationship with, what's her name? Evelyn. I was more invested in
that.
God,
yes.
The way Kate couldn't piece that together, though, I was like,
right?
We both kept talking about how much they were hanging out. And Kate's like, ooh, who are you seeing? Like, they've told you. They've told you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kate was going through a lot, trying to fall in love with men who were still in love with other women. But also, why would they sign up for a dating service? Like, it's not like, that was the other thing that was weird, was that people were signing up for the dating service for like the 12 Shags of Christmas or whatever. So there's this magical app, okay? It's called Tinder. You could just do that there. Like, why are you paying money? I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
And they didn't even really find people who were, it'd be one thing if it was something where they really had this like algorithm figured out of like how people work together, what they wanted, because there was the one guy who was like almost perfect, but he didn't want kids.
Right. Oh, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
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 T.
And he was like ready to marry her too.
Yeah. And Sarah was also ready to like settle down with him.
Yeah.
But then she saw her ex and it was over. Also, it's weird to me that they've all like
very intertwined in like a way that I feel like in real life it would not be.
Like that would be so uncomfortable. Like, did you know that I hooked up with your ex's ex-fiance? That's weird.
But also my current boyfriend in the past as well. Like, yeah.
It was just odd, you know, but I will say I liked the idea of the dating service. Like, I really do think that I would love a Hallmark movie with the 12 Days of Christmas with this, like, you know, very, like, it would just be so cute, you know, small town girl goes to the city to, like, go on these 12 dates of Christmas. I would watch that movie.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah, I think with it too, like, the characters also felt very surface Hallmark movie, but it felt like she was trying to give them more depth than like, but it wasn't landing. Like she kept trying to be like, no, there's more to us. And I'm like, you're a Hallmark character. Like there's nothing more.
Yeah. I feel like if she had really just driven into the fact that this is like very Hallmark Channel movie, very like cheesy, it would have gone over a little bit better. But I do really like the concept, and I really like the idea of being set up on all these different dates.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Some people have enjoyed the book. I will say there have been some people.
It
And
wasn't bad.
no.
Yeah.
I just probably would have DNF'd it if I wasn't reading it for this because the start was so slow.
Mhm.
Yeah, like it's not a bad book, but at the same time, I feel like I'm pretty picky with what I read. Like as a mood reader, if I'm picking up a book, like I am committing to that book. And so I don't usually read books that I don't end up loving because I'm very selective. So like with this one, I was like, oh, it's been a while since I've read a book that I haven't just like adored. But there's nothing wrong with that. It just wasn't like the best. Like I wouldn't necessarily recommend spending time on it, but also maybe it's someone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't even know if
I agree.
Like I wouldn't write the author off. Like I might pick up something that she writes, like if she were to write another romance, because I didn't hate the writing style. It was just something about this book. Like everything combined did not work as a book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was just a lot going on that did not need to be going on.
See,
I love
that
this
would have been
idea.
a better ending.
Yeah.
Where they were both trying to find like a significant other.
That would have been better.
That would have been really cute.
Like going into this book, like I knew that she would end up with Matt because everyone had already said they didn't like the book. So I was like, okay, it's going to be super predictable. There's not going to be any like plot twists or anything. But I honestly think it would have been more interesting if Kate had started off, you know, with this like idea of being in love with Matt, romanticizing him and like their friendship, and then ended up like actually meeting someone who was right for her and falling in love. And like I feel like I would have preferred like a twist like that where it's like, oh, she's not going to end up with Matt. But like
or even if she was just in love with Matt the whole time and open about that in her own brain, but instead we were trying to be tricked into thinking she wasn't going to end up with Matt when we all knew
from page one.
I feel like it would have been really nice if like Richard hadn't been a jerk and he there was like an actual like love triangle and she actually had to make a choice.
Yeah.
Instead, Matt just had to swoop in and punch him in the face because
well, the fact that absolutely no one worked out for her also is kind of like she didn't have to choose Matt. Like Matt was always just like the choice for her.
Yeah. What else were we gonna talk about? What are some other thoughts?
I will remember this. I did have that part highlighted.
We'll not remember the character names. We'll remember this comment. So good.
That's so good. Yeah. That gave it that extra star.
Yeah, I just felt like that whole thing with Richard was so strange.
Yeah.
Because he could have been really great.
Yeah.
But also my thing, like, okay, maybe I'm just like forgetting stuff. But like, why was he going after her? Was he trying to win the 12 shags of Christmas money? Because that's what I thought was going to happen. But then it wasn't even that. So I was like, what is the...
I think it was literally just that he was like a scumbag. And that was it. Like, that was the excuse.
Because I thought it was going to be like he was actually secretly trying to win. And because he had missed the first date, he had to like try and woo her because he was like off with his scheduling or whatever, you know? To try and like win the pot. Like, and I was expecting that, and then it like wasn't even that.
Yeah.
He was
no, he was just an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that was disappointing too, because with Richard, like earlier in the book, it was kind of like, oh, maybe this is going somewhere else. And then as soon as he was like threatening other guys, I was like, oh, Richard, not you too.
Oh my God. When he threatened the other guy, I was like, oh no. And she was like kind of weirdly okay with it.
Yeah. She was like, I'm upset, but you apologize, so let's move on.
The bar is like this low.
Well, I mean, she was in love with Matt, so of course the bar was that low because Matt was below that bar. Like, Richard just had to be like slightly better. Okay?
Yeah.
Matt doesn't talk to her for years because she tried to have an adult conversation with him after they made an adult decision together. Like, I'm sorry.
This is all true.
Oh my god.
Not the healthiest relationship.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I cannot handle, and it is like unnecessary jealousy or like arguments that happen just because you won't communicate. And both of those things were so prominent in this book. And I like don't like when they're also used as like plot points. And they definitely were.
Yeah.
Like, he threw her Christmas tree onto the porch and then walked away.
Oh,
yeah, I forgot about that. And then
Can you just imagine like a grown man like throwing a Christmas tree in anger?
but it's okay because he works at the local cafe.
But like the times when we were supposed to be like, oh, look at how cute we are, look at how compatible, was whenever Kate was coming in to save his ass. Like whenever the lineup was busy or like the market was busy and she was coming in to like do him favors. And she never wanted to do that.
Basically, none of us liked Matt.
She made him so many brownies and cookies. And what does she get in return? A thrown Christmas tree.
Honestly, I didn't like have like a strong opinion on Matt until like 5 minutes ago. Like I was like, yeah, Matt, it's whatever. But now I'm kind of like,
yeah, screw Matt.
Yeah.
You know what would have been a bold choice? If she did end up alone.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was going to happen. Like, well, I didn't actually think it was going to happen, but I was like, you know what would be better if she was like, you know what? I can have a kid by myself. I don't need to find love. I don't need to be like my mom chasing men. I don't need any of this. Like, I can be okay for myself. But instead, we got Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So chaotic.
Anyone in the comments have more thoughts?
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Claire?
No, I just like can't believe like over the past few minutes I've developed these like ill feelings towards Matt that I never had before.
What was your guys' favorite date? Let's go on something good.
Bold of you to assume I remember a single one of the dates.
Oh my god. I think it's bad that I liked the one where the guy clearly was not going to end up with her because it just felt more interesting. Because I was like, oh, she's not chasing after him. And then she was just kind of like sassy. And I was like, this is fun. This is more fun than you chasing after the guy.
I mean, to not say the one with the gay guy because that was obviously the best date, I have to say the one with the guy who like they just got drunk, I think, and then they like made out, but he didn't want kids. I liked that one.
Sarah's ex.
Yeah, that was Sarah's ex.
Was it?
Yeah, that was Oliver.
He was my favorite. Okay, I shipped them.
Oh my god. Oh, I will say that one threw me for a loop when she was like,
wait,
oh,
but who was the one who didn't want kids?
That was the ice skating. That ice where he guessed her shoe size based on her height.
Interesting.
Oh my god, we're doing great. Wait, what was the problem with the? Oh, he was also in love with his ex, the hiking one.
Yeah, he was in love with
his wife, or like his ex-wife, like or the mother of his child. Something happened, and he was like, "I have to go be with her because I just realized that I love her." And I was like, "How old's your kid? Like you didn't realize this?"
Yeah. His ex. Kate was in love with her ex. Everyone was in love with their ex.
Wait, who is this? What?
That was the ice skating guy.
And what? book was more chaotic than this live, and
No,
that's saying something.
Live was chaotic because this is what we're working with here. Do you know what? I was there for Laura. I liked Laura. Laura was a good friend, and Kate kind of like wigged out on her at one point, and I was like, Kate, listen, you don't have many people in your corner right now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I feel like she was unnecessarily mean to her when she realized that like Matt had come and talked to her, but I was like, but she was friends with both of you. So like why would she?
And also like Kate had peaced out. So like her reasoning was so valid. Like what was she supposed to do? Like tell Kate to come home?
Also, I wish we had learned more about like Kate's travels, because I felt for someone who had like traveled that much, she was so simple. That makes sense. No, I just feel like when you travel, like you have experiences. Like she would have met so many people, and like instead it was like she still felt like some girl who had never left her small town.
Yeah.
And she even like lived in London for a bit, and she had that like weird friend who I was like, I want to know more about this person. And instead it was just like, no, that was her old self. Like now that she moved back home, she is the same person she was in high school, and she will end up with the same person she was in love with in high school. None of the character development that we've heard about has occurred. Like I went to Europe for 6 weeks, like I traveled, and I feel like I came back very different. I don't know how you can travel for years and like be the same person that you were. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a lot of opinions on this. I feel like Kate could have been such a better character.
Yeah.
I also like that I didn't know what she did, like what her job was, until about halfway through the book.
Yeah.
I like got to that point and I was like, oh my gosh, I thought that she was a baker.
Should have been. That would have been more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then like once the job was brought up, it didn't stop. Like,
yeah.
Okay, I've heard enough about your designs. I'm good.
See, I like
designs for a fabric company. Yeah, at least that added some like character.
See, I was like, what kind of fabric are we talking about here? Because the stuff she was drawing, I was like, none of this would go on like clothing. Like, is it like tablecloths? Like, what is the fabric?
Could not tell you.
These are the thoughts that were going through my head when I was reading this. I was like, what are you putting pine cones on?
I feel like, I don't know. There like are some like of those types of designs, or maybe that's like her mood. She's like doing like the mood board, and then the fabric adds text. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they never really grew from that.
No.
Which you'd think after 10 years you'd grow from that.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah. See, this is like we heard about all this development that they supposedly went through, but they were the same people when we were reading it as they were like before all of this development was supposed to have occurred.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to say.
With you.
Yeah, that.
What was that? The mood quote that you
The one thing I highlighted in this book was at like near the start, Kate says her newly straightened hair was already beginning to kink, and I highlighted it and I wrote mood.
And that was the takeaway from the book.
Yeah.
There it is.
I had high hopes that I would really relate to Kate, and instead I was like, you are everything I do not want to be.
In like however many years, 15 years from now, I am hoping I do not end up like Kate.
Like, please don't let me end up with someone I was in love with in high school. That's a no. That's such a down. Like, that's just like, don't go back. No, high school's over. Move on. Stop.
See, I feel like that could be cute. Like the second chance romance type thing, it can be cute if they've both like grown
chemistry and
into it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked the like the setting. I was there for like the small town England vibes, Christmas time. That was cute. I think I just like that's it. I was like, ooh, small town, the Christmas lights. I liked that. That was cute.
Yeah,
There's
with
a
the
lot
like
of
manor
snowing
house.
Yeah.
There was a lot of snowing.
in December, which was weird.
Back and forth with the hot cakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
I don't know
in
where in
December.
England they were.
Like, it usually snows in, like, winter months, like January, February. At least
Is
here,
Jenny
and I think we're, like, the
Bayliss
same.
from England? I'm gonna Google it. Where's she from? Is she American and writing about? I'm Googling it right now.
I think she lives in the UK. She's from a small seaside town in the UK.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, she's a professional cake baker.
Extensive knowledge on the baking. I loved the baking. Actually, a few recipes at the back of the book. And I was like, if I had the time and energy, I could do like a baking video, but you won't catch me do it.
Yeah, you know what? If she had just made Kate a baker, I think I might have liked it more.
Yeah, would be cute. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This small little town in England, adorable. But she had like this whole like London side to her that was just like didn't add up with her character.
100% sludge.
Cute.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe not too atmospheric after all.
No, I do understand what you mean with like the small town vibes. Like, I was picturing Hallmark movie settings, so aka like the city where I live, which is where they film all the Hallmark small town setting movies. That's what I was picturing in my head, but like with snow, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes I forget that like 99% of Hallmark movies are filmed here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like picturing like either the city where I live or like 4 cities away where they film the rest of them. Those were my 2 options.
Yeah.
For like my brain.
Yeah.
Well, now it's ruined for me. I was picturing England and I was excited.
What part of England were you picturing, Claire?
No, I've never been to England. You know I want to go. I was just like imagining like Pinterest England, you know? Like highlight reel.
Mm-hmm. Like Hogwarts, you know, when it's all snowy.
Stop. Don't even taunt me with that. Pandemic needs to end.
Like Hogsmeade. That's what I'm picturing. I'm picturing Hogsmeade.
Oh, that's what I was picturing. Yep.
There we go.
Becca has never seen a Hallmark movie, and that's not anything that you should be worried about.
I mean, I love Hallmark movies.
Oh, I do too. I can't, in good consciousness, like recommend them to people.
No. I'll never be like, this is my favorite Hallmark Channel movie. Mostly because they're all exactly the same.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, how would you pick? Actually, there was one that I watched that I remember texting one of my friends who likes Hallmark movies and being like, you need to watch this movie right now. And she was like on it, and it had some type of fake dating, plus there was only one bed. So I was like, you need to watch this immediately. And then I think one of them also had like a kid. And so then it was like one single parent thing. So it had like 3 of my favorite Hallmark tropes, but in one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what it was called. I'm sure she will though.
Yeah. My acting teacher from school is like the designated Hallmark mom in every movie. So whenever the Hallmark channel's on, I'm like, okay, is she in this one? So it's kind of like ruined for me now.
That's so funny. See, I feel like Hallmark Channel movies, there's like 4 main plot points. One is there's the like royalty one where they like normal person ends up with the prince of someplace called Moldovia, Caldovia, Saldovia. Like it's always that.
It's like Christmas. It's like the Netflix movies that they've been putting out the last few years. Like Vanessa Netflix movies. Christmas
Um,
Prince.
yeah. Well, there's the Christmas Prince, and then the Vanessa Hudgens one is the Christmas Switch.
Yeah, those are like Hallmark.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know what we're talking about? Except
Yep.
I would argue that those are like almost more cheesy, but in a better way.
Mm-hmm.
They don't try to take themselves seriously. Sometimes Hallmark tries to be serious.
No, the other Hallmark Christmas trope is that someone ends up being Santa Claus. Attractive boy, attractive man ends up secretly being Santa Claus, or old man who's been following main character girl around and sprinkling magic things on her ends up being Santa Claus.
Old man who just keeps on showing up in
Yeah.
random places to
And
give
giving
like
advice.
really great advice is Santa Claus.
I love how our discussion has turned into like a Hallmark movie.
I think this proves we have nothing left to talk about this book. You've never seen a Hallmark movie with random old man who keeps showing up and giving random advice, and then at the end they are Santa Claus?
You came in a great place, Emily. We're no longer talking about the book, apparently.
I think we've covered all that can be covered.
Yeah.
Like I
Consensus, Matt is trash.
Yeah.
Kate deserved better both from herself and from Matt.
Mhm.
And that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could say this only happens like once or twice, but no, I've seen at least 5 where this happens.
I don't watch them enough, clearly.
No, but I will
Yes.
find it.
Oh my god, I will send them to you.
Do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because there's always the like the like corporate person who then goes into the small town.
Yes.
That's
Who's
the
playing
other
that
trope.
part because it's snowing.
Because there's a snowstorm.
Yeah.
There's so many things that they could have put into this book. Her dad should have been Santa Claus.
Stop. Oh my god.
Guys, stop.
But picture it.
And that's why her mom had to leave.
She no longer has to be Mrs. Claus.
Don't get me started on how her dad deserved better, okay? This literally, I'm not even going to talk about this book's portrayal of marriage again because I've already said it basically is a marriage check.
Did
Yeah.
she live with her dad?
No, she lived in her parents' old house and her dad moved somewhere else.
But he was like always there.
Mm-hmm.
And he like had a key.
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good choice. I think we're like pretty much done with this discussion too, because like we have nothing of intelligence left to say.
Yeah.
Movie.
Also, Polar Express, incredible.
Yeah.
The animation, awful.
But I remember when it came out thinking it was like the most groundbreaking animation.
It was the height of CGI. Those elves. Oh my god.
Yeah. Iconic.
Nightmares. But Josh Groban sings in it, so.
Brand. Really? I'm gonna write a fan fiction where her dad ends up being Santa Claus, and it's gonna be great.
I think you should write it. Do
Okay.
it. No, pitch it as a Hallmark movie.
See, that's the thing is they already have a movie called The 12 Dates of Christmas based on a different book called The 12 Dates of Christmas.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
We were looking this up. We were like, next year next time if we ever do something like this, we will do better research on the books that we pick.
Yeah, we'll find a better book. If we do this next year, we'll find a better book. We promise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. because he plays every character. Doesn't he also like voice the child?
I think so. Or
I know he voices the hobo and the
mhm.
man on the train, the conductor.
Like Josh Hutcherson or something. I thought Josh Hutcherson was involved in it for some reason. I thought I read this recently, and I was like, oh, not PETA.
Not PETA.
But I think I read that somewhere. Or maybe he likes the CGI as the child. I don't know why I'm still talking about this.
I mean, he does kind of look like the child, but he also looks like just a basic white boy, which is what Josh Hutcherson looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Googling it.
I think he was involved somehow, whether or not. No.
Young Josh Hutcherson, hero boy.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
I think he might have stood in for the CGI, though. I think you're right that Tom Hanks voiced the boy. I think Tom Hanks voiced Santa, too, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely voiced Santa.
The Santa.
Oh, it's baby Josh.
Aww. Oh, yeah, there it is.
That's like Who era Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah, right. Oh, what an icon.
Something that came up when I searched this was an article that says Josh Hutcherson farted in Tom Hanks' face filming the Polar Express. And I think we should end the live with that.
Thank you for coming.
On that note, if anyone has any more thoughts about the book, let us know now. Speak now or forever hold your peace. If you like the book, good for you, man.
I'm really glad.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy it. Like,
I
don't want people to think that I'm like trash.
I finished it, so it couldn't have been that bad.
I will say that the first time where I actually was inclined to DNF, except I knew that we were doing this. I don't DNF, but I was kind of ready. I was like, is this the one? Do I put it down?
I know. Considering like my goal this year is to DNF books, I was like,
right.
But I can't.
And the live
that would have been a funny live stream.
I would have just made it up.
Yeah, I could have just fed you lies.
It's not like I remember.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, it's not like I remember the character names anyway.
Anyone here actually finish? Is that what we're getting to? We all no one read it?
No one actually read this book. Oh, anyways, I think that is a great place to end.
Yeah, Becca's out. We're out.
On that note, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. I'm impressed you stayed up this whole time. Thank you everyone who participated in our readathon. We had a great time hosting. We hope that you had a great time participating and reading. Yeah, any closing thoughts? Be sure to follow these two, Bookish Potatoes, here on YouTube. That was so perfect.
Oh my god.
Yes, be sure to follow them. And you can subscribe to me if you want, I guess.
Do it.
It's a lot of videos like this. Thank you, Mare. You're the best. Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.